Okay. So 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80, I think 81 to 90. This is enough, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first one, tally mark, nothing, right? Oh, okay. Here frequency, 11 to 20, how many tally marks you made, Sayujya? 11 to 20, how many tally marks you made? Sayujya.
Ma'am, I was not there in the last class
You
at
were
the
not
end.
there.
I was there in the starting, but due to power failure, I was not able to continue the class.
Okay. Pranav,
0.
11 to 20, nothing is there?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay, so there also nothing. Okay, fine. So here frequency will be 0. 21 to 30. How many? Abhilash?
Ma'am, 1.
1.
1. What is that number? 28.
8
Okay.
to
So here only one tally mark. Here frequency 1. 31 to 40. How many, Pranav?
4.
4 are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 4. Okay. 41 to 50. Amal, did you get? How many you got? 41 to 50.
ma'am.
Hmm? Rahul, how many you got?
1.
Only 1. Okay, so here also 1. 51 to 60. Kevin? I think this area more are there, right?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
9.
9 are there. Okay. 1, 2,
9.
3, 4. So 5. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Is it 9 for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just wanted to ensure whether it is correct or not. Okay. 61 to 70. Pranav, how many?
7.
7. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 7. Okay. So here 7. 71 to 80. 71 to 80. Abhilash,
Ma'am, 2.
only 2 are there. Okay, 2. So here 81 to 90. I think only 1 is there.
Ma'am, only 1.
Okay, 1. So altogether is it 25? Did you total and saw?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is correct then. Okay. So here tally marks how we are finding. So now here if you have like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, even if you give, easily you can take the numbers because this means 5. So even if you have so many numbers, very easily you can find out the number of frequencies in that particular one. Now next slide, the same thing, only the class frequency, how they have found by the tally mark without any, what is that, classes here. Only scores they have written, tally marks. It is the same thing, numbers which you have, you can see related to it, the same numbers is given, but only tally marks are used here. Total number of students, it is 25. The same numbers which you have done just now, it is with that, without making any class, it is how to get the tally marks here. But what difficulty they are talking in this related to frequency? When we make the frequency, we can say that it has a shortcoming or it is not the correct one, because when we summarizes the raw data, what is happening here, we are making it very short. Okay, so it is not showing all the details that are found in row data. So here you can see when they are making this row data into an classified one, we are losing some information, because whatever data what we find in row data, that is not presented in the frequency table, because once we are grouping that into classes, we are not seeing any individual observation there. Okay, like in this, sorry, 1 minute, in this we are where is that? Yeah, in this what I have written here, you can see that we are going to use this and this frequency 11 to 20 or 21 to 30. We are telling that only one observation is there. Are we taking the real number here? 21 to 30, which one is the real number there? 21 to 30 in this example. Who can say? 21 to 30. Which
28.
one? 28. Can we find any 28 there? No. We are just telling that between this 21 to 30, we expect that there is one person. That is what we are telling. Or if there is one observation, that is what we are telling. And there is one more thing. Whenever we take this frequency, we feel that it is near to, it will be somewhere in and around to one particular point. What is that? It will be, we always feel that, okay, 21 to 30, this is the class here. In that I am telling that one observation is there. Okay. Now this one observation will be in and around which number?
Between 21 and 30.
Between 21 and 30, but we are specifying one particular number here. It will be in and around this. What is that?
30.
Is it 30? No, don't think it is 28. In anything you take, any observation we take. Here 4 observations are there. Okay, but we feel that this will be in and around of one particular number. What is that?
Class mark.
Class mark, that is the correct one. So we always have a feeling. What can be the class mark for this? What is the class mark for this particular, this one? Middle one you can take. What is that middle one? Which one is the middle one?
26 or 25.
25. We can take it as 25 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth one is the middle one. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So fifth one you can take it as the middle one. So whether this 25, we are telling that this one observation is in and around 25. Is it correct? Is it correct? This 28, is it very much near to 26? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it very much near? No.
Ma'am, it is
It
bit
is
near.
near. It is near what? 30, right? It is near the upper limit rather than near the class mark or class midpoint. So here, what I wanted to tell you, this is the drawback of what? This frequency. We are not showing the individual observation. We are telling that this many are there in that particular classes. So here we are reducing the information and individual observation is losing its importance. Like that 28 marks, that is an individual observation. That has lost its significance when you go for further calculation. We are not at all thinking about that particular number. We are telling that okay, this in between this only one number. That is what we are taking. So a lot of information is lost when we are classifying the raw data into a class one, I mean frequency class like that. Okay. all values in the class, what are we assuming that? It is to be equal to the middle value of the class interval or class mark. So if four numbers are there, what are we expecting that? If it is between 20 to 30, sorry, 21 to 30, we are expecting that all these four numbers will be in and around 25. We are just assuming that. But is it correct? Is it correct or not? No
Yes,
one
ma'am.
knows. It is correct? Is it near the mid mark
Yes,
or
ma'am.
it is far away? Is it? No, it will not be. You see.
Ma'am, near.
Sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, you take this point 61 to 70. How many observations are there?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, please?
See, if you take any class, in that you are getting, in this example you are getting 7 numbers are there. Do you feel that the 7 numbers will be just in and around when I talk? Okay, what is the mid value of the 61 to 70? Who can say? Mid value of 61 to 70. Mid value or class mark?
65.
65. Okay. When you check this 7 values, what do you find? Is it just in and around? In and around when we say maybe 65, here minus 1 minute, here minus 2, here plus 2. At least we can say in and around. So do you feel that all these 7 values will be in and around 65? Can
No.
we say that? No, we cannot say. It
No,
is
ma'am.
not compulsory. Okay, that is what they are giving it as a drawback here. This leads to a lot of information when we classify the raw data. How we are losing that? We are assuming that all the values whatever we are presenting, all the observations whatever we are taking, it will be equal to the middle value of class interval. It will not be equal to class interval at all, or class mid value of the class interval at all. So for example, in that 61 to 77 values are there, 65 is the midpoint, in it will be all these 7 values. Is it equal to 65? No. So that is what they are telling it as a drawback here. All the values in the class, what are we assuming? It is equal to the mid value of the class interval or the class mark. So this is a drawback what we can see associated with the frequency class. Another one, statistical calculations when we do, we are taking only the values of class mark or values of the observation, not the original number what was there in that particular row data. We are taking the frequency into consideration, or we are taking the classes into consideration. We are not taking the original observation what is there in the raw data. So this is what mainly related to the drawbacks of a frequency class, because when we summarize that, we are losing a lot of information, because when we summarize, we are not going to use that individual observation, we are going to use this many numbers were there, and that number we are using for calculations, not the individual observation from the raw data. And another one drawback what we are thinking, what we have taken, it is assumed that all the values in that particular frequency or that particular class, that particular value will be always equal to the class mark. That is also not correct. Now next one, frequency distribution with unequal classes. Yeah, before that you have your textbook with you, right? Take that page where it is given related to the tally marks of those students. Yeah, the same thing you can see how they have classified 0 to 10, 10 to 20, this many observations are there. That is what they have given. But in this case, if you see, some 3 classes have majority of the observations. If you see this, 3 classes include majority of the numbers from the raw data, right? Basuri? Basuri, can you hear me? Is there any problem with your mic? Or please unmute it and talk. You're keeping it mute and talking, it will not be heard. No, video is not on. Cannot talk, speak anything. Now you should call and check with your parents whether it is working or simply you are sitting in front of that. Abhijit. Abhijit. Abhiram is present?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, Abhiram, just see the screen. In that, classes are given on one side, individual observations are given on the other side. There are 3 classes where the individual observations are more individual observation you can see in the 3 classes. Which are those 3 classes?
40 to 50,
40 to
50 to 60,
50 to 60,
60 to 70.
60 to 70. So it shows that out of 100 students, this many students are concentrated in this particular group, this particular classes. Okay, so 67% of the people, 63% of the people are in this particular group. At the same time, remaining 37% are in other classes, like these classes, remaining 37%. So here, why I showed this, they are telling that this kind of frequency if we have, where more concentration of numbers in some particular classes, in that case, we can take unequal sized classes. Okay, got it what I said? There are some classes, in this particular example you can see that some classes are clustered. I mean, so many observations are there. So when you represent the data, it shows that majority of the population or majority of that particular numbers or observations are in one or within some particular limits. So that should not be there. Somewhat equally the frequencies should be distributed. So in those cases where these kind of clusters are there, we can use unequal sized frequency classes. That is what they are telling. Okay. Now next one, again example you can see, we have made a frequency unequal sized class frequency here, classes here. You can see here, first one it has taken 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. There till there you can see equally it is done. But next onwards you can see it is different, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65, 65 to 70, then you can see 70 to 80, 90, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. So here if you see the frequencies, it is somewhat okay. Here maximum number you can see in this particular category 45 to 50, but reducing below that the classes, it is not possible. So here 12, 10, 16, 9 and all those things if you see somewhat is equally distributed. So in those cases where the number of frequencies are too much clustered in some classes, there in that case we can use unequal sized classes. Okay. Next one, this is the 2 frequency curve you can see. The first one is equal sized frequency. The second one, unequal sized classes. The first one I showed you before also. It is related to equal sized frequency and unequal sized classes, which if we are making of same data. Here will be the two types of frequency curve. Now, next one, discrete series or frequency array. Discrete series is also known as frequency array. Okay, now what do you mean? You have studied about discrete series or discrete one. What is that discrete series? What is the speciality of discrete, what is that, variable, not series, discrete variable. What do you mean by that? Kevin, do you remember? Discrete variable.
No, ma'am. No number.
You don't remember?
One second, ma'am. Let me check.
Okay. Discrete variable. Two variables only you have learnt. Discrete variable, continuous variable. You should always keep this in your mind. Continuous means very easily you can understand which one it is.
Discrete variable cannot take any fraction.
Yes, it will not take any fractions, it will not take any, points or anything, nothing will be there, point values will not be there. Continuous, when you think about continuous, always it will be continued, the number will be continued, points will be there, fractions will be there, like that. Okay. Now, what do you mean by discrete series? It will be shown in such a way that exact measurements of the items are shown. Exact measurements of the items, in the sense, you can see here marks are given instead of class. Okay, whenever you make a class frequency and all, what are you doing first? First you are making the class here. But here, can you see any class like 0 to 10 like that? It is not given. Instead of that, they have given marks, exact marks they have shown. In that, how many students have got 6 marks, how many students have got 8 marks, how many students have got 10 marks, how many have got 11, how many have got 12. So here, is it exact one or it is a representation? How is it in the frequency table? How are we doing? If the same thing we are representing in a frequency table, like for example 0 to 5 and 6 to 10, 11 to 15. If you are representing this 0 to 5, how many will come? Anything is there?
0.
0. So nothing. 0. 6 to 10. 6 to 10, how many?
4.
4.
How many numbers? 4 numbers. Okay. Then 11 to 15?
3.
3.
3.
Okay. So here, are we representing the real marks here? Are we representing? These are the real marks. Are we representing that anywhere in this particular data? In this classification? Can you see that?
No.
No.
No. So in this, whenever we make a class and frequency like this, we are not, that is what as a drawback I told. We are not representing the real values, we are representing its frequency, how many times it is occurred. That is what we are representing. But this data, how it is, this series, how it is, we are not taking any frequency here, we are showing the marks. At the same time, how many of them got. These are the real ones which is used for further calculation. Okay, so this is a series where they are not taking any intermediate fractional values. That is what related to discrete variable. Now in this series, what is the speciality? Values are shown along with the frequencies. Now frequencies, when we say this many got, this shows what? 10 plus 10. This many students got 2 students got 10 marks. So this, they are taking the original value, not the frequencies, how many times it has occurred. Okay, so this is one kind of series where we are using the exact measurements, not the frequencies, not the number of times it has occurred. We are not showing. Next one, this example they have given in your textbook. Variable is the size of household. Okay, in the sense, size of household means what now? What do you mean by size of household?
Number of people in a family
Number
or
of
house.
people in a family. Okay, so one first household, it is given that only one is there. Second one, only 2 members are there, or 2 members in the sense, in that particular family only 2 are there, 3 are there, 4 are there, 5 are there. Number of households here, what do you mean by this? First is equal to 1 is equal to 5. What do you mean by that? Size of household is 1, number of households 5. What do you mean by that?
Ma'am, 5 families or 5 houses only have 1 member.
Yeah, 5 families are there where they have only 1 member. That is correct. Here 5, 10 means 10 families are there where they have 5 members. That is what it means. Okay, so here also they are showing the exact number of the size of household here. They are not taking any classes or anything like this. Okay, so here this kind of arrangement we call it as frequency array. Now the variable size of household is a discrete variable and it takes only the integral values, only the full values or finite values here, not the point or fraction or anything like that. Okay. Next one, bivariate frequency distribution. This is also given in your textbook. You can just see that 2 variables here. One is this variable, another one is this variable. These are all variables. Okay, this is another variable. So in this type of distribution, in this frequency distribution, what are you seeing here? 2 types of variables are presented. Okay, here on the top, whatever is shown, that is regarding sales. Okay, here what they have shown, that is advertisement expenditure. In this example, 2 variables are shown, one on the top, another one on the side. This kind of frequency distribution, we call it as bivariate frequency distribution. Now there is a particular, this they have taken in relation to 20 companies, how much sales are there and how much money they spent on advertisement. Now what are the differences? I'll come back to this once more. Let me tell you the differences between bivariate and univariate frequency distribution. Bivariate and univariate frequency distribution. Now, what do you mean by univariate frequency distribution? When the data is classified on the basis of a single variable, there is only one single variable, that distribution we call it as univariate frequency distribution. And what are the 2 terms for that variable? Who can say? 2 types of variables?
Discrete and continuous.
Discrete and continuous. Okay. So when the data is classified on the basis of a single variable, that kind of distribution we call it as univariate frequency distribution. When the data is classified on the basis of 2 variables, that distribution we call it as bivariate frequency distribution. That is bivariate frequency distribution. It has one more name. Both of these has one more name. Univariate is also known as one-way frequency. Bivariate is also known as two-way frequency. Example for univariate frequency distribution, that is height of students in a class. Bivariate, we are taking two variables here, height and weight of students in a class. So differences between univariate and bivariate frequency. When this data is classified on the basis of a single variable, that is known as univariate frequency. It is also known as one-way frequency. One example is given, height of students in a class. Bivariate in the sense we are classifying the data on the basis of two variables. That is what you mean by bivariate frequency distribution. It is also known as two-way frequency. There one example what is given, height and weight of students in the class. No, it's not going. Just 1 minute. Yes. So here you can take that last page. There they have given that bivariate frequency distribution. They have given some explanation related to that. What all are coming in the particular data. Yes. So here the frequency distribution of two variables are shown, okay, where one side sales advertisement and sales, another side is advertisement expenditure. How it is given, I told you that it is on the top it is given sales, the other one is given expenditure. This is sales here and this one is expenditure. Okay. Now here if you see one example they have given related to this, the table, if you check the table, each cell shows that the frequency of corresponding row and column values. One example, there are three forms. You just see that take that particular table and just see that there are three forms whose sales are between 135 to 145 lakh and their advertisement expenditure is between 64 and 66,000. So here we are representing two variables and we are finding out how many firms are there. Altogether we are finding out of 20 firms and it is given that how many firms are there in that particular location where the sales are between 135 to 145 and at the same time expenditure is between 64 and 66,000. So there three firms are there. Same way if you see how many number of firms are there between 145 to 155 and 68 to 70. How will you find? Just see the table. How many number of firms are there? For sales it will be between 145 to 155 and the expenditure is between 68 to 70. How many number of firms are there?
2.
Two firms are there. So like this the distribution it is given. Two variables are taken, one on the top and the other one is on the side. So this is what about, this is what about our chapter. It is done. Now here just a conclusion related to the chapter. The data, you have studied about the primary source and secondary sources, how we are collecting the data. It is always raw one or it is not a classified one. Once the data is collected, what you have to do, the next step is to classify. So sources will be there, then next step is to classify the data for further classification or for further statistical analysis. Why do we do the classification? To bring order in the data, some sort of order should be there. So that is done mainly for the classification is done mainly to bring the order in the data. At the same time, how are we making that classification? Especially in this chapter, it gave you an idea related to frequency distribution. Once your classification is done, then it will be easy for you to do the constructions for the frequency distribution. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. We'll do a small recap from the beginning. Okay, so what do you mean by a raw data? Who can say what is a raw data? Raw data means what?
Unorganized data.
Is it organized?
Unorganized.
Organized.
Okay, I heard it as an organized one. Okay, unorganized data comes, we call it as we call it as raw data. Okay, next, after getting the raw data, we can arrange that into different ways we can arrange that. That is what we call it as classification. Okay, now there are different types of data here, or different types of classification we have, or how we classify the data into different manner. Which are they? Who can say?
Chronological and time series.
Okay, chronological or time series, that is the first one. Then any other? Others can also say.
Partial classification.
What is partial classification? It is also known in another name. What is that?
Geographical.
Geographical geographical classification. What is the next one?
Qualitative.
Qualitative classification. Okay, next one. What do you mean by qualitative classification? Who can say? It is classified on the basis of
Quality.
quality or attributes or characteristics like that. Next, last one. One more
Quantitative.
classification, quantitative. So always it will be representative through numbers, you can say. Now, what do you mean by discrete variable and continuous variable? So many times I was asking about this discrete variable and continuous variable. Who can say the proper difference? Always this you keep it in your mind, difference, continuous and discrete. What is that?
Continuous variable can only have a numerical value.
Continuous variable can have only numerical value? Who can say? I think this question all are getting confused.
Continuous variable can include all possible values, including the intermediate values
Yes,
and fractional
including
part.
all the intermediate values, integral values and fractions and all those things. And discrete?
Discrete.
It can only contain a certain amount of values.
Amount of values in the sense like finite values only can be included here. Okay, so let me take the attendance now. Abdul Aman, absent. Alan Thomas,
Present, ma'am.
absent.
Present,
Ver-
present.
okay, Alan Verghese,
Present, ma'am.
present. Anish,
Present, ma'am.
Aparna, Aparna, I saw her coming, I felt. Okay, Aparna absent. Krishnakanti absent. Krishna Nunni absent. What happened to this Krishna Nunni? Is he here? Any idea?